Hey guys, it's the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to Rajshri Food. Well, today's recipe is Eid special and it's an equally special recipe called the Burhanpur ki Jalebi. It's literally like a coiled gulab jamun. Well, I can't call it a gulab jamun of course, but taste wise, look wise, feel wise, but it's a jalebi. It's made up of Mava. I'll of course tell you how it's made and things like that. But let me also tell you that it's a little elaborate recipe. You need to follow everything to the T. And I'm taking this as a personal exercise because I want you to get this right. And once you get it right, do not forget to tag us on social media so that I know you've got it right. I have my eyes on you. Let's begin. Let's first make a batter using only Mava, which is your Khoya, along with milk and water. Now, why am I making a batter with these three ingredients? Is because I want it to be liquid. The Mava has to be liquid. So when you're making Mava in the house, you need to stop literally a few minutes before the Mava becomes dry and crumbly. So let's get the Mava back to that stage, and that is, till it's a little condensed, a little thick, a little clotted, and literally runny. So that's the first step. Now, to reach to that stage, I am taking Khoya, which is Mava, and I'm taking everything by the cup measure. So remember that. This is a cup of Mava that I've used. Moving on, the next step is to take a mixture of water and milk. Now this is again to make a mixture of Mava. Now this is equal quantities of Mava and the liquid, which is a mixture of milk and water. I'm adding half now. I'm mixing all of this together because I want it to become lump free, literally clump free. It has to be nice and pasty. Do not add in all the liquid at the same time because then it becomes a little difficult to whisk it up or whip it up. It has to be nice and pasty. If you want to avoid this step, you can just take all of this in a mixer jar or a blender jar and just blend all of it till it becomes nice and pasty. Add in all the water and milk mixture. And just blend it up. Now this is done and ready. If you see, it's nice and smooth. To this now we're going to add in the refined flour, which is your maida. You can't make this with atta because otherwise it has a very different kind of a flavor and taste. I'm mixing all of this nicely. Go slow, do not add everything together. Another thing which is very important in this recipe is to whip all of this together. It has to aerate, it has to literally get a gloss, it has to get a shine. So you whip it till then. Now this is ideally best done with your hands or with the heel of your palm. So you wash your hand nicely, you pat them dry, and you bring all of this together and whip it. Now, like I said, this is best done with your fingers. You keep turning the bowl, keep scraping the sides, and keep whipping it. Like I said, 3-4 minutes till the batter is nice, glossy, and lump free. Very important. Now, this to me is done and ready. It's whipped nicely for 3 minutes. And the closest I can think of in terms of look and feel is an idli batter. So this is done, this is ready. Let me scrape the sides and keep this aside for an hour covered. Very important. Let's begin with making the syrup. The first ingredient that goes in is water. To this, I'm going to add in sugar. And along with sugar, I'm going to add in cardamom. Now these are seeds of green cardamom. Of course, now this recipe is not a rich recipe, so you don't need things like saffron or nutmeg and things like that. Just a bit of green cardamom and that's perfect. And we need to boil this precisely for 3 minutes on high flame. Remember, in those 3 minutes the sugar has to dissolve, which it will, and it also has to just thicken from what the consistency of water is, primarily the flow or the consistency of water. From that it has to become a little syrupy, and that's about it. Once that's done, we'll keep that aside. And if you also see, the batter is resting here. So it's been somewhere around 50 minutes. Once we are ready to put it to use, around that time we need to make the sugar syrup, because otherwise if the sugar recrystallizes, it's again a big headache. Now of course, by all means, if you have a jalebi cloth or a double tailored cloth as we call it, you can use that. But of course, we may not have it in these times. So you can use a piping bag. I have also kept oil to heat. Once the oil heats up, we're going to take the piping bag and we're going to snip the end. It's going to be a little thicker than your usual jalebi. You can try the shape in the pan itself. And once you're kind of confident, you can move into the oil and you can begin with the piping. Now the flame needs to be high here. Allow this to fry till it's nice and crisp and golden brown on one side. Then we flip it and then we kind of bring in more color. At this stage, we're going to very carefully pick it up and turn its side. This is a very important step because you need to be very, very, very careful, because like I said, this is not like a regular jalebi which is going to break into pieces. It's going to cling on together like a coil, literally like a chain. So you need to be a little careful. This is the time when you need to bring in the color, because now it's cooked perfectly well, it's got its shape. Now for ease of pickup, I'm going to cut it here because it is just going to make it simpler. I feel these are fried and ready, because if I do a little more, then they will kind of burn or start getting a very different taste and flavor. At this stage, I'm going to pick all of these and transfer in the sugar syrup. Separate these so that they can go right in the syrup and soak it up wonderfully well. So this way, the whole idea is to ensure that they get dipped within. So 1.5 minutes and this is just perfect. If you see, this has become nice, juicy and tender. I'll show one to you. It's a little hot, but if you see, it's punctured so beautifully well, and it's soaked, it's soft, it's sweet, it's mushy, wonderful. Just the way I like a Burhanpur ki jalebi. Well, Burhanpur ki jalebi is done and ready. Make it the way I'm telling you and you will get it right every time. Do not take shortcuts, because this is not one of those recipes where you can take liberties. And for more such recipes, stay tuned. Bye for now.